Hello my beautiful friend and welcome back to another Black Library review. So today we are going to talk about Dawn of Fire, The Silent King, book number 9. It is the last publication in the Dawn of Fire series from Black Library. So, if this isn't your first video, oh man, this is hard. This is really hard for me. Again, if this isn't your first video on this channel, you know I was really excited for this one. I gave the Dawn of Fire series more levy, is that the right word? Than it probably deserved, because I was really hopeful. And to have the last book being called The Silent King, this is the ultimate ending of this part of the crusade and the Pariah Nexus and everything in here and so on. It was really disappointing. It was so disappointing. I mean, just look at this. The first phase of the Indomitus Crusade is drawing to a close. Vast swaths of the Imperium Sanctus are back under tentative Imperial control, okay? Still, the Primarch Robert Guilliman faces wars on every front. His desire to cross the Great Rift to save Imperium Nihilus remains strong, even as news of renewed assaults on Ultramar draws his attention home. If you are a little bit longer in the hobby in 40k, you probably already heard of the Dark Imperium novels, because Silent King, the novel, is right before those. They even say Mortarion plans his things in the Ultramar sector and so on in the last chapter. So again, it's basically a cut and the next book starts. I don't know where to begin. I really do not know. Even when I see the books that came before, it just makes me so sad. First of all, I love Guilliman. I love Sicarius. Sicarius is in here. He's not a Primaris Marine at this point. He's still a firstborn. Messinius is in here. Belisarius Call is in here. It is against the Necrons. The Eldari are here. At least the Farseer that is aiding Guilliman and the bodyguards that Farseer has. This is the recipe for a book to make me personally happy. It is written by Guy Haley. Another point in the recipe that makes me happy. So why is this a disappointment? I really do not want to talk too harshly about this, because it isn't fair. I'm really honest here. I try to be critical here, but I'm heartbroken. Because the majority of the book, you can basically skip most of it. There are storylines in here that really do not matter, that will never be picked up again. There is a Sister of Battle storyline, which is basically, I don't understand why it's there, because we left so many other story points from previous books. They're just not here. And I thought, okay, at least we get closure, but we do not get closure. Iron Kingdom, everything that happened there. First of all, the more I thought about the book, the more I realized that it is also forgettable. But everything that happened in Iron Kingdom is basically non-existent. I forgot the name of the Astrum Militarum lady. What was her name? I really forgot. The one who's basically chosen by the Emperor to survive everything because he has plans with her. She survived Gethalamor in Gate of Bones with the other custodies and so on. She's not there. At least I didn't recognize her, maybe, but no, she wasn't there. Mordians were not mentioned at all. Otherwise, I would have recognized her. Because you know me and my my this is so sad. I mean, not only her, but also the custodies dude whose name I also already forgot, who's been Kolquan, who's basically the bodyguard and slash maybe executioner of Gilliman as soon as he finds out that he wants to usurp the Emperor and so on, is basically just a guest appearance and so on. And I really don't know what to talk about. Again, there are so many storylines that really do not matter. Some of them are just there to fill time, basically, which is really sad. Fight scenes are a little bit too long. The first 3 chapters are kinda okay. It's Adeptus Mechanicus against Necrons, as they are on a planet, stuff happens, Necrons wake up, everything, the usual stuff, which is fine. I don't care. It is a good set piece, so that you know, okay, Necrons, if this is your first book, for whatever reason you're ever reading, you know Necrons, you know Imperium, that's fine. I totally get it. For me personally, it wasn't that great, because I've read countless books with this in mind. Then it begins with Gilliman. Gilliman is the main central character, which made me really, really happy. We have Sicarius, the captain of the Victrix Guard. He is the man, the legend, the cat. Oh, Sicarius. And he was basically one of the best characters in here, which made me really sad, even though he's one of my ultimate favorite characters, because his storyline back then in 5th edition started as he is arrogant, he is self-loving and everything, he is the best and he can do everything, to shit is hitting the fan, everything's going wrong, his best friends died around him as the Cicatrix Maledictum happened, because they were butchered by a greater demon of Khorne. One of his best friends even gave his life for him, which is, of course, Space Marines, there's an argument to be made, but up until then, they were basically, in his mind, immortal, because nothing happened to them ever. And then the book Knights of Macragge happened, which was a fantastic book, by the way. And so now we get to know why Sicarius has changed so much. Call is in here, and there are nods here and there. Whenever Messinius is meeting Call, and he's commenting on, whenever I see Belisarius Call, he never seems to be the same person. Because it's basically never the same person. Belisarius Call is basically the archetype of an autistic person who's masking. Because whenever he's talking to someone, it's basically, which personality should I slot in right now? Who is this and what do I need from this person? And Messinius is in here. I love Messinius, but he's also a sideline character. Silent King. At least Silent King should be awesome. At least Silent King should be the man, the threat. He's there for about 3 pages, 4 pages. Basically never talked about. Yeah, that's it. That's the appearance of the Silent King. Of course, the first time he's almighty and everything, and he's negotiating with Gilliman, which was fantastic. So whenever he appears, it's awesome. I'm not downplaying this. It was great. But he was criminally underutilized. The Necrons were a threat. Okay, I like it, but that's really hard to say. The problem is they should be really broken. They should be really, really overpowered. There is a stark dichotomy between every book that came before with Necrons and this one, because now the Necrons are wildly overpowered. Again, which they should be. They break reality. They break the laws of physics. They break gods and eat them for breakfast with their cereal. It is amazing. Which kinda brings the question, what happens to the Necrons in the next books? In the upcoming novels? This is an isolated book, and it's not at the same time. Not only because it's the last book of the Dawn of Fire series, and the basically jumping point to the Dark Imperium. Let me go into that pose again. We have to do real talk here. But also, as this is a connected universe, yes, the Necrons have a civil war basically inside the Necron dynasties and so on. But name-dropping people makes me happy for about 10 seconds. I don't care that Trazyn the Infinite is mentioned. I don't care that Xeras is mentioned. I don't care that Evrael Stern is mentioned, that the Heretic Saint has a name drop. I mean, again, made me happy for 9 seconds, 12 seconds, around that point. But it did nothing for the story. It just made me think, I read that novel. And that's it. I want to talk positive about this, but the only positive things that I can say is the appearances of the Silent King, which are about, again, 4 pages. Maybe, I don't know, I had to listen to the audiobook version because my book didn't arrive as of yet. Because reasons. Maybe it's there and, oh yeah, they probably just forgot to call me. Never mind, I was about to go on a rant because I did not think about that the shop where I ordered it was basically overrun, which made totally sense. So I'm not blaming the employees. It happens. They're really nice people. I really love to talk about them because every time I go there, we talk a lot of Black Library. They love the Black Library as much as I do. So that's why I order my books to them and pick it up, but they just probably forgot to call me, which is fine. Again, that happens. But yeah, I listened to the audiobook version and I just guess that it's about 4 pages because it's really not that much. Call is awesome, but we basically just need his standalone books, even though they come after Dawn of Fire. Because everything we basically have read, everything comes after Dawn of Fire. There is an order of the books. Wait, let me just pick it up. 40k storyline official? No. Where is... Because in the Silent King book there is supposed to be a timeline in which order you have to read the books, basically. 40k book order. I know I could have just looked it up beforehand, but we're now going to do it together. The other thing is just... there it is. It's on Reddit. Of course it's on Reddit. Okay, let me just do it like this. So, Avenging Sun, Knights of Macragge, there it is. Awesome book. Gate of Bones, Lion Sons of the Forest, Devastation of Baal. Okay, these are the last ones. Genefather is before that one. Okay. Again, where's Silent King? Silent King is here. Makes sense. So, call Genefather, call Devastation of Baal, and Lion Sons of the Forest. You can tell I don't know what else to say. The most important things, again, is just the parts with Silent King, because they're awesome, and the last 3 chapters of the book, because it ends. And this sounds harsher than I mean it, because the last 3 chapters are really, really great. They are really good. Because not only it basically cuts off everything that we needed, but also the introspection of Gilliman, of Call, of Zacharias, of Messinius. Yeah, that's basically it. Those are the most important characters at the end. But the relationship between those 4 is so good. At one point, Call and Gilliman, you can see that they have a really close friendship. And I wanted to see this. And we are rewarded for this, because it is really, really good. When they know how to talk to each other, and Call also makes 2 options for Gilliman. When he says, yeah, if you want me to work on this project for our own Blackstone pylons like the Necrons, just without the stilling effect, so that everyone is basically just a living husk. There are 2 options. One, I go with you, and then it will take me at least 100 to 300 years. Which kind of feels like the pace we are at right now with the 40k and Age of Sigmar storyline. I hope that Android technology or cybernetic technology will pick up, so we can at least get to the point when Call will do that with the Black Library books. So in 300 years, I will tell you what happens as soon as I can put my head onto a robot body. The other option is he leaves Gilliman and the fleet and works on his own. Then that's it, maybe about 10 to 20 years, which sounds also very realistic for the Black Library storyline. So that is at least 4 to 7 editions of 40k. We still have to wait for that to end. Oh my god. I made myself sad. But again, the relationship between those 2 is like, I know you don't want to see me go, but you have to let me. Gilliman, my friend, I know it's hard to see me turn around and walk away. And I'm not kidding, that is in the book. Of course I'm paraphrasing, but that is in the book. And it is so good. Guy Haley just proves how good he is in writing comedic scenes in serious discussions. And how he balances out to make serious points very serious, because you can laugh in this book. There are many points in the book. Oh my god, I haven't told you of Archmagos Esoteric. This is one of the names that I will never forget. It's just so funny. Again, I had so many chuckles and laughs as I was using the opportunity at work. And my new work, thankfully, I can listen to audiobooks or music with my headset on because no one cares. I have my own lab, so I'm just standing there doing my work, and I was at work and I just laughed because it was so funny. There were some parts where I was shocked because stuff happens to people, even though they really didn't matter. We will never see them again, which again makes it really, really sad, especially after the great Ambassador novel that I reviewed last week. There is an argument to be made. Yes, we know these characters will not die. Yes, we know that these characters will never appear again. But it happens so much. And in a book series of the Dawn of Fire novel, where is Tenebris? Where are the word bearers? Nothing. Nothing. They mentioned a planet with Iron Warriors and word bearers on it that Khal needs for his research. And Gilliman says, you know what, friend, I will do that for you. Again, the friendship between those two, which is amazing. But is this a new book series that is going to be coming out in the future? Is that one going to be well thought out and not a mess like the Dawn of Fire series? I really, really wanted to love the Dawn of Fire series, but they fumbled it so hard. It just felt so mismanaged. I know that I'm not really talking a lot about the book itself. Again, there is not much to talk about. I can just say it again and again like a broken record. The majority of the book just really doesn't matter. It is just a set piece for Dark Imperium, for the Belisarius Call novels. And what was it? No, not even Devastation of Baal and Lion, Son of the Forest. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I really want less books with better quality to come out. Because at this point, and I say it again, it's just too much. With my Archaon review, I have to wait till next month because I have no money to buy the audiobook, as my priorities are shifting. And I really feel like, and I'm not the only one, I read a couple of maybe 3 at max 6 comments from people that they also feel like that Games Workshop is pushing out veteran fans so they can basically make whatever they want with the new fans. And it really feels like it. I'm frustrated with the 40k storyline. If they do not pick it up, I really don't know what to do. And I love 40k. I love 40k so much. I left Star Wars with the shit they've been doing there. And you can feel that I'm annoyed because it's not much, but I'm cursing. And I usually have a no cursing policy on my channels, except the gaming channels. I don't know, man. Again, I left Star Wars, I left Star Trek, I left so many things because they just went down the drain. And the drain is filled with other things that I was really passionate about, and I really did not want to see Warhammer to fall into this as well. So my hope is that the next books, I give them 1.5 years. I think that is realistic to pick this up again, because Aaron Dembski-Bowden is apparently the new narrative lead of 40k, so this will take a while. Books are already being printed and so on that he had nothing to do with. Totally fine. I'm probably going to read them as well, if I have the time and money, and if they're really interesting. But if they do not pick it up, I really don't know what happens in 2 years. Or a little bit after 2 years. So should you read Silent King? Maybe not. I'm not even going to make a joke with the rating. It's a 6 out of 10. And I'm generous here. I'm really generous. I really, really, really wanted to make it better. Again, this is a recipe to make me happy. You have so many Ultramarines. You have so many other characters that I dearly love. Again, Messinius and Belisarius Call are just 2 of the examples. But they did not stick the landing. Tenebris is missing. The Word Bearers are missing. The Mordian lady is missing. It's really sad that I can't remember her name, but my memory with names is like a calendar. It just goes through, except for Archmagos Esoteric. But that one is just funny. I don't know, maybe in a week or 2 I say this is a 5 out of 10. But I can't recommend this. If you really want to see the Necrons kicking ass, this is awesome. Maybe this is the reason why I made this 6, because the Necrons are freaking terrifying. This is like the 4th edition Scaventide novel, the introduction for the 4th edition. Skaven are terrifying, and I really, really wanted to see this in the Necrons, because Necrons, again, they break reality, they break everything. Everyone should be scared of Necrons, but every book that comes out after this one, the Necrons will be like, I don't know, wet noodles. You will just slap them around and, oh, maybe they killed 10 Space Marines, but we killed hundreds of them, and they vanished into the void. And I don't know, yes, there is an excuse to be made that we follow the hero of the story and so on. But then there is also a way, there is always a way to make an enemy really, really powerful, but you still get to survive and fight the next day. Gilliman also says, I don't like to lose. And that's what happens in the book. We know this. It's not a secret that this happens. We know what happens in Dark Imperium. We know what happens after. It is not a secret. So also not a spoiler. If yes, I'm really sorry. But I should end this right here. And I have to do this review again in German. I have to talk about it again. Oh my god. I just want to do something else. I don't know, play Monster Hunter and look at my Gundam cards. I'm sorry that I'm so sad. I wanted this to be good. And the ending was the best part. This also makes me really, really sad. I wanted to be happy all throughout. If there is a down low, I would say fine. You need something low to balance the heights. But this is mainly lows. and a little bit of highs. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I'm also going to look into other reviews, what they have to say, if this is only my thoughts of the book, of the story. But again, I don't feel like that it really had an impact. If it had an impact, I don't know, it wasn't that much. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do all the things that make the dings. Thumbs up, like and subscribe. Have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic. Stay hydrated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, bye, bye.